Hello, welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranj. Today I will be giving you the Capper Comparison Picks for some more prelim fights for UFC 269. This is a fantastic card. Be sure to check out the videos I did earlier this week on the early prelims and the mid-range prelims. We're getting toward the end of the prelims. After these three fights, there's the prelim headliner. I'll do that tomorrow, mixed with a couple main events. But main card fights. But let me get these three prelim fights out of the way. Starting with the middleweight fight between Bruno Blindado Silva taking on Beverly Hills Ninja Jordan Wright. Now, Bruno Silva is a sizable favorite, minus 370. Oi, oi, oi. No good value there but for Blindado, but I think it's probably warranted. Bruno Silva is 21-6, a little bit older, 32 years old, taking on a prime Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright, I have a lot of mixed feelings on Jordan Wright because he does have a great record, only taking that one loss, and that was to a who was it? It was to Jaqueen Buckley, I think. Shoot, let me check. I'm sorry, I didn't write it down. But Jordan Wright, his record is padded with a whole bunch of Alaskan regional nobodies. That's the thing. Yeah, he did take a loss to Jaqueen Buckley, where Jaqueen Buckley took him out in round two, early in round two, knocked him out. But he also, that's not the only one. He's got he had a fight that was overturned in the Contender Series. He got knocked out by Anthony Hernandez. Also, that was a round one KO, but that was overturned because marijuana. So, I mean, but still, he should have those two losses. But recently, though, Jordan Wright is coming off a pretty impressive win over Jamie Pickett. He got a ground and pound win round one, and then he did the bow because he's all Mr. Karate and stuff. It was interesting. Everybody in the world was taking Jordan Pickett and or Jamie Pickett, I'm sorry, and Jordan Wright showed everybody don't do that because he came there and took care of business against Jamie Pickett. I lost money on it. It was a surprisingly big upset. But to me, Jordan Wright is still unproven. Like I said, his record is padded with a whole bunch of really trashy cans. So, very low caliber opponents in the Alaskan regional scene. I don't even think there's anybody that he's fought with a winning record in that Alaskan regional scene. I mean, go through Tapology, you can check them all out. But let's talk about Bruno Silva. Bruno Silva is fighting out of Evolução Thai MMA. That is in Brazil. This boy, Bruno Silva, this man, he is on a 6-fight win streak. Most recently, he beat Andrew Alderte Sanchez. He knocked him out TKO round 3 against Andrew Sanchez. Like I said, 6-fight win streak. He hasn't lost since 2016 to some guy named Moise Rimban. I checked him out. He lost by Kimura in round 2, and that was in the Phoenix FC, some regional promotion. But that was, like I said, that was 2016. That was quite a while ago. And he's going against Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright does have a slight 2-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. But I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Jordan Wright is fighting out of Jackson Wink MMA. I'll give him that. That's a good facility with was it Greg Jackson and John Winkle something. Winklejohn, I don't know I forget his name, but Jackson Wink is a decent facility trained out of. People like Carlos Condit, off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There mixed feelings on Jackson Wink, but still Jordan Wright, plus 290 for a guy that's taken only one loss. Well, not including that loss to Fluffy that was overturned. But so I don't know. It's scary to take. We'll see. Let's see what the cappers have to say before I get any further into this middleweight showdown between Beverly Hills Ninja and Blindado, Bruno Silva. We're gonna start taking Blindado. We've got Pub Sports Radio. That's Clint, and Clint's special guest this week was Dan Levy from Half the Battle or something like that. He's known throughout the MMA community as a great predictor, and both of them are taking Blindado with the KO. Out of all these cappers I watched, almost all of them are taking violence on this. The 1.5 rounds is the total that's set. If you think it's going to go over that, look at plus money. If you think it's going to go over 1.5 rounds, that means the book and everybody else thinks it's not going to go 1.5 rounds. Minus 160 for the under. So I don't know if you think this might 1.5 rounds. That's 7.5 minutes. Do you think it's going to go 7.5 minutes? That's a tough call. But these guys are, they will both bring the heat to each other. Jordan Wright's 30, by the way. Also taking Bruno Silva. We've got Blood Money. My buddy Cody. Cody is also saying TKO round 2 against the karate stylings of Jordan Wright. What's going on? Bleed MMA, Just Bleed is taking Silva within distance. He said probably round 1 or 2. Like I said, everybody's thinking early finish for this. MMA Guru, the one with the Nick cap out of the UK, TKO. He's thinking over though. He's saying TKO in the 3rd round. Thinking Jordan Wright might be able to manage to hang out for a round or 2. We'll see. And finally, AJ DeVito from MMA Experts, also taking Blindado by KO. So that's easily a full capper consensus pick. Nobody has faith in Jordan Wright, except I will say I watched Pub Sports Radio with the Clint Diehard MMA podcast. Yeah, right here. Clint and Levi, and in the chat, and they weren't playing around. In the chat, there was authentic guys that were like truly taking the side of Jordan Wright. They're like, you guys are all going to be surprised when Jordan Wright comes out and puts up a fight and surprises all y'all. But you got to take the chat for what it is. Sometimes they're just trolling. Sometimes they're just doing it just to get a rise out of, just to get their comment up on the screen. Just to, somebody just wants to say, oh, Jordan Wright by wheel kick. I think that's how he took out Jamie Pickett, if I do believe. I think he did a wheel kick and then it went to the ground and he did a little ground and pound action after that. That's why he did the bow, which that was the icing on the cake. Like I said, I don't know anyone that's ever taken Jordan Wright in any fight, but 12-1, that padded record, but still, well, it's going to be interesting, but I'm going to have to go, of course, with the majority of the cappers. I'm also taking Blindado, Bruno Silva, but I am not betting this. I will put it, because for the show, I'll put him in a parlay. But aside from that, just because, I'm a man of my word and I say every show I do is a bet, is a parlay with a combined all my 3 picks. But I think it's going to happen by knockout, and I'm figuring probably round 1. Knockout round 1. I don't prop that out. It'll probably get a plus number, but it won't be a big plus number because because the bookies, everybody's thinking that's the route it's going to go. Jordan Wright might surprise you, though. He might do something crazy, come out there, but Bruno Silva, no, he's never been knocked out. He's been submitted, I think, of his 6 losses, I think 4 of them were by submission. But like I said, he hasn't even lost since 2016, and that was submission, that was Kimura. But yeah, that's a safe pick, is taking Bruno Silva, but the value is not there, neither is my money, aside from the parlay that I make with my picks from these 2 fights. So moving on, next we have the big boys. We got Augusto Sakai and Tai Tuivasa. These guys, not that biggest heavyweights, but yet not the smallest either. They have, both sizable guys. I think they're both around the, 240, 245-ish. And they show a little bit of chub. They got a little fat on them. They're not cut diesel or anything. But both these guys can bang. Here's the thing. They were even -110. But finally, I just checked. All these odds are from Bet Online. And I just checked, and the line did move. Money's been coming on the shoey guy, Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa. He's the one, he likes to do the shoeys. They're disgusting. Who wants to drink beer out of a dirty-ass boot or dirty-ass, dirty shoe? It's gross. But anyway, Tai Tuivasa fighting out of Australia, out of Lions High Performance in Australia from down under. He's got that Aborigine type accent, but I think his roots are like Pacific Islander, Samoan-ish. I could be wrong, but Tuivasa, plus the tattoos and everything. I'm saying he's probably a Samoan, or at least a Pacific Islander, if you will, for Bam Bam. He's coming off a good win against Greg Hardy, where Greg Hardy did rock him for a minute, but he took it. He maintained composure, flipped it back around, and got a ground and pound win over Greg Hardy, the former Dallas football player, in round 1. He's 3-2 in his last 5, coming off two back-to-back wins. Augusto Sakai, on the other hand, he's fighting out of Brazil, out of the Gal Ribeiro team. He's got a slight 1-inch height and 2-inch reach advantage, but these big boys that doesn't matter. They can both bang. Thing is, Augusto Sakai's coming off back-to-back losses, 2 in a row, but they were against bangers. They were against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, knocked him out in round 1. That might still be fresh on his mind. Once you get knocked out round 1, the memory's still there in the last fight. So you got to keep that in mind. Before that, he ground and pound lost to Alistair Overeem, but at least that was late in the fight. That was round 5, so you got to consider that too. So they're both 3-2 in their last 5. I will add they have a similar opponent, a common opponent in Blagoy Ivanov. Blagoy Ivanov lost to Augusto Sakai with a close split decision. Sakai won. Thing is, Blagoy Ivanov beat Tai Tuivasa. So if you want to play the MMA math game, the common opponent beat Tai Tuivasa, lost to Sakai. Unanimous decision victory for Ivanov over Tuivasa. Split decision loss to Augusto Sakai for these big heavyweights. So this is a very close fight. Like I said, the lines were even, -110. Money's been coming in on Bam Bam, so the line has shifted a little bit. He's a slight favorite, so I'm going to start with him. See what these cappers have to say in this big heavyweight showdown. Taking Tai Tuivasa, we've got the MMA guru. He thinks Tai Tuivasa will get a knockout in round 1, the first round. Good on you, guru. Guru's legendary though. He's always going to be one of the best cappers out there. He's got like 23,000 subscribers. All his videos get he's got 11,700 views just on the full card breakdown. The guy's, I want to get at least half. I want to get a 10th of the way to where he's at. A tenth of the way. I just want 1,000 subscribers. This guy's got 23,000 something. Unbelievable. But anyway, and he was saying in his, if you want, all the links will be in the description. In his thing, he was saying way back in the day when he had no subscribers, he had put out a video on where he was bashing Tai Tuivasa, calling him fat and everything. And he said he had more dislikes than he had likes on that video, but his subscriptions, his subscriber count boosted after putting that video out. So I guess you could, if you put out the little shock value, clickbait. And the thing is, I will say, MMA Guru puts his work in every single day. He's putting out content every single day. I do Monday through Friday, you know, but this guy, he puts it out all week long, and many times multiple videos a day. The guy has no other job besides this, so he can do that. Where I have to go to work, I have family to take care of. I don't think MMA Guru has children, or wife. He's never let on to anything like that. I think he's still living with mom and dad. But anyway, also jumping over here, we've got Bleed. Bleed is taking Augusto Sakai. Shoot. Man, sorry about the smudging. So, Bleed is on Sakai. He didn't really say how it's going to get done, but he does take Sakai. He said because of the quality of his opponents, he has been knocked out, but is most recently, but it's been against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who can knock out anybody, and Alistair Overeem, who's you could say he's a veteran at heavyweight. His name's been known throughout the UFC for the past 10 years. So the guy, he's got strength and name power alone, Alistair Overeem. Then back over here, we've got Blood Money, Cody, also taking Tai Tuivasa. Bam Bam to get it done. Then we have the AJ DeVito, MMA experts, taking Augusto Sakai. And he said he should be able to get it done by decision. Now that's an interesting pick. He thinks it's going to go to decision on a heavyweight fight where both these guys, one good hammer from one good haymaker, and it'll take anybody out from both these hard-hitting strikers. This is the total set at 1.5 rounds. So even the bookies have this tight. If you over 1.5 is -155, so it's not like the Jordan Wright fight, but still they don't think it's going to go the distance. So next we have Pub Sports Radio, and this is the thing, they were split. Pub Sports Radio, Clint is on Augusto Sakai, and his guest on the show, Dan Levy, is on Tai Tuivasa. I don't know if it's Levy or Levi, but they're both split on this disagreement on the Clint Die Hard MMA podcast, and I love that because it shows how close these fights are. When they both agree and like everybody agrees on the same thing like this, it's kind of like you got to be brave to go against the consensus. This one, it's tied. I guess I'm going to be the tiebreaker with my pick. Man, here's the thing. I like recency bias. I would say go ahead and take Tai Tuivasa because he's coming off wins, whereas Augusto Sakai's coming off 2 losses. But those losses are against guys that if they hit you, you're going to get knocked out too. Jairzinho Rozenstruik and Alistair Overeem, both those dudes can, heavyweight fights. And like I said, the Alistair Overeem fight, he went to the 5th round before he got knocked out. I think Sakai has had the better strength of schedule, fought the harder opponents. But like Guru said, that those losses are probably still fresh on his brain. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. I'm gonna have to take a look at the face-offs, but right now I'm gonna go with Augusto Sakai. I think, like I said, he's had the better strength of schedule, better opponents. I don't think it's gonna go to the ground, but if it does, he will have a advantage there, I do believe. And because he is Brazilian, Tai Tuivasa is Australian. So I'm gonna say Augusto Sakai. I'm gonna go also decision. I think they're both gonna just sloppily, feel each other out, throw some strikes at each other, but nothing that's gonna really catch the other guy hard enough to lay him out. It's such a hard fight to predict because heavyweight fights, all it takes is one good punch and you can win. But I think they're gonna play it safe and smart, both of them. Maybe do a little hugging against the cage. Maybe somebody will take it to the ground. They'll be hugging on the ground, bunch of big hug fest. But I'll take Sakai to come out as the victor, get that decision victory. He is Brazilian, so on the ground, if it does go there, he will have that little bumping advantage, I think. So moving on. Finally, we have the very close fight, bantamweight fight between the young Punisher, Pedro Munhoz, not very young anymore, taking on another older guy in Dominic Cruz, the Dominator. Both these guys are 35 and 36 respectively. Munhoz, 1 year younger, 35. Cruz, 36. Pedro Munhoz, the young Punisher. He's got to change his name to just Punisher. He's coming off a loss to one of the GOATs, Jose Aldo. So you can't take much from that. Before that, he has a win against Jimmy Rivera. He's 2-3 in his last 5. He fights out of Black House MMA, which is a sister school to Team Nogueira. Team Nogueira is out of Brazil, but Black House out of California. But like I said, they're affiliated. Their affiliation. Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz was in the UFC before there was weight classes in the UFC. This guy's been around. He was in, back when UFC was in its infancy. He's been fighting forever. Yet he's only 1 year difference, and they got very close same amount of fights. We got 25 here for him, and 26 here for Cruz. So, one fight more, but yet the time that he's put in, he started way earlier than Munhoz. I'm not sure exactly when. I didn't look that up. But Cruz here is going to be the bigger guy. He's got 2-inch height and 3-inch reach advantage. He fights out of Alliance MMA, also in California, Chula Vista to be exact. He's coming off a split decision win against a prime Casey Kenny. That was a very good win. I took Casey Kenny in that fight, but Cruz, he got the victory, and rightfully so. Before that, he took a loss to Triple C Henry Cejudo. He got knocked out in round 2. He's 3-2 also in his last 5. They do have a common opponent in Cody Garbrandt. And MMA math, here we go. Pedro Munhoz beat Cody Garbrandt in 2009. He knocked him out in the first round, TKO. Dominic Cruz lost to Cody Garbrandt, but it was unanimous decision, and it was 2016 because Cruz there's gaps in his fighting. There's been, I think there was some injuries in there, but either way, this is going to be a very, very close fight. The line is even, 110 either way, whoever you're taking, and the picks are pretty close too. We're going to start out with this older guy with one more fight that's been in the fight game a little longer, I'm sure. We're going to start with Dominic Cruz and see what the cappers have to say here. Taking the Dominator, we have Pub Sports Radio. These guys, again, split. Pub Sports Radio. We got Dan is saying Cruz should get the decision victory here. And Clint is gonna take Pedro Munhoz. He thinks leg kicks are gonna come into play. Cruz does have put his lead leg out there when he's making strikes, and I guess Pedro Munhoz does have some killer kicks, and he's gonna be beating that leg up. And Clint believes that's gonna play a key role in this fight. But on the other hand, Dominic Cruz also taking him. We've got Cody from Blood Money, and he's saying Cruz should get the decision victory here. The bookies also think this is going to go a close decision. They think the over 2.5 is -225. So nobody sees violence on this. Nobody sees a knockout coming. We also have them flipping over to Munhoz. We've got AJ DeVito, MMA experts, and he's saying Munhoz by decision. I can see a trend here. Everybody's going to be saying by decision. Then Dominic Cruz has the pick from Bleed, and Bleed says Dominic Cruz should get the decision victory again, and either to tie it or to make the majority. We've got MMA Guru also taking Dominic Cruz. He thinks that Dominic Cruz has better footwork, and that footwork will come into play. And he says Munhoz has struggles against guys with good footwork, and Cruz has some weird footwork with striking that's not traditional. That comes out from, like, he'll throw strikes from all different angles and everything, and his footwork is going to confuse Pedro Munhoz, and that's what he believes Dominic Cruz should cruise to a decision victory. So there you have that. My pick on this, man, I'm still on the fence. I'm not gonna lie, but I guess I'm gonna go with the guy with the longer experience and the capper majority. When in doubt, go with the cappers, and the capper majority is taking Dominator Cruz, as will I. And obviously, like everybody else in the world, I'm gonna think Cruz should get the decision victory over here. I did bet against him in the Casey Kenny fight, but fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or whatever that thing is. How fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm not gonna go against Cruz in this spot against Munhoz. I think he should be able to pull out the victory by decision, but it's gonna be a very close fight. We'll see how they look in face-offs, but I think Cruz does have the more experience. He's had a longer, stronger career, despite what the records say and the amount of fights. I know he's been there from way back. I remember him way back in the day. So there you have it. To recap, time check. Perfect. To recap, I've got Bruno Silva with the capper consensus, taking out the Beverly Hills Ninja Jordan Wright. I think it's going to happen knockout first round. That's probably the most feasible thing. That's outcome of that fight. But aside from this parlay here, no value there. Not at -370. Then I've got Augusto Sakai winning a very close fight. I think it's probably going to maybe even be split decision. I don't see it could, and like I said, heavyweight fight with two hard hitters. It could somebody could knock out the other guy just landing a strike the right way. But I think they're gonna play it safe. Maybe do a little hugging against the cage, a little hugging down on the ground. and these guys are gonna just there will be strikes thrown, but they're both durable, and the strikes they throw, they're technical enough. It's not gonna be like big power brawler haymaker type fight. Oh man, I don't know, dude. I really don't know. It's both the tops of the boards are very hard to pick, but if I have to pick a side, gun to head, I'm going to take Augusto Sakai. I think he's fought the better quality competition, and I think he's going to get it done over Tai Tuivasa. And then finally, I've got Dominic Cruz. Once again, still on the fence. These are all subject to change after I see how they look in the weigh-ins. Maybe I'll see a little bit of, a bad weight cut. Maybe I'll see some drainage out of one of the fighters. Maybe I'll see something that'll lean me one way or the other, but gun to head, if I have to make a pick, I'm going to take Dominic Cruz to get the decision over Pedro Munhoz, just for the time experience in the genre of mixed martial arts. I remember Dominic Cruz way before I remember Pedro Munhoz. So there you have it. Sorry I couldn't have more confident picks here, but it is what it is. So gather your info, and when in doubt, take the cap majority. In that case, there's no majority, so I just have to go with my gut. But anyway, gather the info, place those bets, cash those tickets. I appreciate you watching. Give me that thumbs up. Go ahead and fill the comments with who you think's gonna win these close fights, and tell me why. If you're taking Jordan Wright, definitely leave a comment and tell me why, because I think that's just craziness. But hey, I know he's got fans out there. I saw them in the chat from the Die Hard MMA podcast. I saw the guys in the chat calling everybody else a fool for taking Blindado. But so anyway, if you have any opinions on these fights, go ahead and fill the comments with them. I appreciate your input on that. I want to see what you guys are taking in these fights. Maybe you guys can lead me to flip my pick on one of these fights. I'm not flipping my pick on that one, but one of these two. Go ahead, fill the comments. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your bets, and I'll see you tomorrow with another episode.